Hi guys, I'm Honeymoth Tarot and today I'm going to be doing a pick-a-pile reading specifically for the upcoming solar eclipse. So as usual we have pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3. And then if you're kind of unable to pick just with a card, you can also pick with a crystal too. So for pile 1 we have pineapple quartz. Pile 2 we have crazy lace agate but as a mushroom. And then pile 3 we have pyrite. As usual, timestamps for picking a pile and picking a crystal will be in the comment section below, and I will see you shortly. Bye. Hi guys, so you guys chose the Queen of Earth, also known as the Queen of Pentacles, and then the pineapple quartz, which I know is really good for aiding us with happiness and concentration. So you may be needing those things at this time. Alright, so let me get into this reading. Solar eclipse for pile 1. So right off the bat we have the King of Wands energy, which is really good for focusing on that happiness that we were talking about with the pineapple quartz. Also drive, motivation. Then we have the King of Cups, which is emotional stability. And then the Seven of Pentacles, harvesting some sort of fruit, the fruits of your labour. So I feel with this solar eclipse there's going to be something that really makes you aware of just how much progress that you've made. Because we've got two kings here and a queen, so there is like some sort of mastery. Or I'm getting the word like culmination. So there's something about like sowing the seeds months, maybe even years ago, and around the time of the solar eclipse, which I believe is around the 29th of March, kind of depends where you are in the world, there's going to be something that, some sort of reward that's coming in, or something that makes you realise just how much progress that you've made. And I do want to say with the Seven of Pentacles, there's like a lot of abundance to be harvested, but also to bear in mind that so how with gardening, you know, we kind of plant the seeds, water, it takes days, weeks, months to harvest something of worth. But then often with that we kind of need to know when to like trim, or when to weed out any kind of like pests or dead plants, that kind of thing. And so I feel as though even though you are kind of about to harvest something, there is kind of a need to weed out what is no longer working, or so there is that. And I do feel as well, like with the Queen of Pentacles energy, that is a very like earthy energy. So you may like actually be harvesting something rather than kind of metaphorically harvesting it. You know, kind of doing a lot of gardening, growing your own food. So I'm getting that there's something to do with like autonomy, and then we have the Page of Pentacles. And I'm kind of feeling very drawn towards this owl that's perched here. Sorry about that. There's kind of quite a bit of noise going on downstairs, so I do apologise about like the weird editing throughout this video. So as I was saying, we have this owl here, usually representative of some sort of wisdom, some sort of knowledge. So maybe there's like this kind of, because I keep getting like this gardening metaphor, like maybe it's been passed down from past family members. And so maybe the King of Wands and the King of Cups are like fathers, grandfathers that have taught you how to garden or how to fend for yourself one way or another. But I feel as though like when this harvest kind of happens, or you realise just how much progress that you've made, you end up kind of like looking at just how far you've come and how much dedication that it's taken you to get this far and to have kept going, like to not give up. So I would say to like, you know, try and be proud of yourself for the tenacity and the consistency that it's taken. I don't know why, but I feel like swapping decks, so I'm going to swap decks. Which is a bit odd because I don't normally feel inclined to swap decks, but we'll see. I'm also noticing as well how we have like animals kind of featured throughout. So also maybe there is something about animals, or maybe there's like a spirit animal that you keep seeing a lot. But we have lions, which are earth, turtles, water, owls, which are air. Okay, thank you. Oh, cool. Okay. So we have the world, which are things coming to fruition. Some sort of achievement, which in turn is also a completion of something. Then we have the King of Lily Pads, which is the King of Cups. So for that to kind of be in line, like for the King of Cups to come out in 2 different decks and then kind of aligned with the same space, I'd say that's definitely significant. So feeling much more emotionally stable, much more creative. And I'm also feeling much more at peace with where you are. And I'm also looking at the deck, at the spread as a whole, and I'm noticing that we don't really have any swords cards, which is the element of air. And so for that to be missing in this instance, I think is kind of... Okay, so we have the Ace of Twigs, which is the Ace of Air. So for that to come out, and I've literally just said about how there isn't any air in the spread. I got the phrase dramatic truth. So I feel as though this is you like embracing your true, authentic self and not being afraid of how emotionally sensitive you are. And not apologizing for it either, because I do often feel that people see sensitivity as a weakness, even though it can be like, you know, one of our greatest strengths. And for the Ace of Swords to be in line with the Seven of Pentacles, I feel as though this is you only harvesting things that really align with your values, that align with your authentic self. And so you're also using that sword as truth, but also to cut out what is no longer working for you. I'm also getting like a clarity of mind, like a breath of fresh air, like you kind of know. I feel like you're very aware of what patterns or mindsets or things that haven't been working for you for a long time, and I think you're just kind of fed up, and so you're cutting all of that out and only focusing on what brings you emotional stability and joy. And then we have the Ten of Swords. So a beginning and an ending, which is what I also said for the world, some sort of completion. I got the phrase, I'm not a kid anymore, which obviously you may kind of like laugh at that, because I don't really know how old you are. Maybe you haven't been a child for a long time. But I feel like there's something about like fending for yourself and no longer relying on anyone to catch you when you fall, when things go wrong, because you know that the divine has your back and you also have your own back. I'm also kind of getting like an ego death, or like a death of the old self. We have the Chariot on the bottom, which is Cancer energy. And the Chariot is all about taking control of your own life. It's about self-will. So yeah, overall I feel as though you're really taking accountability, that your actions have had consequences, and so you're sort of cutting away at these patterns and these things that maybe you were subconsciously doing that ultimately didn't serve you in the long run, and you're kind of now consciously aware of that, and so you're weeding out what isn't good for you anymore, and in turn really focusing on your happiness and living authentically, which is a really lovely reading. So I just want to get a Moonology card. Also, if you, I don't know, I know how the divine can kind of communicate with us through music sometimes. And so when I was looking at this card, I got Shelter from the Storm. I'm pretty sure it's by Bob Dylan. So it may be worth like looking at the lyrics of that, maybe listening to that and seeing kind of what that brings up for you. So we've got the Void of Course Moon. Nothing will come of this situation. I'm getting quite a deep meaning with this card. So I'm getting realizing that we can consume as much like knowledge as possible, but ultimately we know nothing. And I think there is kind of a need to take comfort in that. I'm pretty sure there's like some sort of, it must be like a philosopher quote or something about something along the lines of I know only one thing, and that is that I know nothing. So that there's something about that, you know, like not being afraid of the nothingness, the unknown, the darkness, and kind of embracing that, which I think is that Ten of Swords energy, you know, that like going deep into the dark, scary woodland and embracing our emotional sensitivities. And then last but not least, I'm going to get an oracle card from the Divine Guidance deck. Thank you. So we have number 9, which is the rewards card, which I feel as though that's pretty apt, right? Because I feel throughout the reading I've literally been talking about like either physically harvesting something or metaphorically harvesting something. So there is definitely some sort of reward, recognition in store for you around the solar eclipse. Alright, Pile 1. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hi, Pile 2. So you guys chose the Three of Wands. And then the Crazy Lace Agate Mushroom. Which is really good for warding off the evil eye and promoting happiness, so... Cool. Let me get into this. What deck do I want to use? Let's try this one. Let's get into it then. So we've got 3 of Cups. Interesting how we have 2 3s. Which is kind of reminding me of the Triple Goddess kind of energy. Past, present, future, Mother, Maiden, Crone. So perhaps you are entering some sort of new phase over the solar eclipse period. I feel with this card there is an emphasis on friendships. You may be meeting new friends. But there's something about sharing energy in a positive way. Then we got the Nine of Cups, which when I put it down, I got the word spiritual fulfillment. So maybe you are like hanging around with people that kind of have similar ideologies or similar spiritual beliefs. And it's kind of making you feel more connected to the divine. Or it's kind of making you feel more eager to sort of progress your own spirituality. Then we have the King of Wands, which did come out in the first reading. So if you were kind of on and on about the first reading, maybe watch that. But feeling more confident, getting kind of like a leadership sort of role. So maybe you're kind of the leader of a spiritual group, or you kind of tend to take charge in a situation. Yeah, maybe you are like a teacher or a mentor of some sort, because we have like this anglerfish mer person amongst like a school of fish. And then the King of Wands, which is very much like a leadership sort of role. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, I kind of feel like there's something about your like intellect, or the way that you carry yourself, the way that you communicate, that is like really captivating and charismatic, which, you know, that makes for a great teacher. To not only be kind of able to sort of regurgitate the knowledge that you've learned, but to also hold people's attention, you know. But I am kind of noticing how these two are facing away from one another. So maybe because you are quite intelligent, there is like a lot of sadness or like self-doubt within you, because there's a lot of ambition and expectations that you put on yourself. So maybe you kind of have all of these like leadership, teacher, mentor qualities, but you kind of shy away from it because you don't think that you're good enough, or that the lesson plan isn't perfect, is what I'm getting. Something, yeah, there's some sort of self-doubt here that needs to be addressed, because I feel as though you are the King of Wands, right? But there is that Knight of Swords, that kind of niggling self-doubt that sort of takes over sometimes. And then we have the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. Which I feel is about like mixing or experimenting, and I feel as though that is kind of mixing this confident, charismatic leadership, and mixing that with intellect, and kind of balancing the two. So yeah, I feel like maybe you're being called to pursue some sort of qualification or degree that gets you into, you know, being qualified to be a teacher of some sort. And then also with Temperance, there is always this kind of awareness of being patient with yourself. And I think that that's kind of calling towards that Knight of Swords self-doubt energy. You know, to kind of remind yourself that you can have all of this knowledge in your head, but you also need to believe in yourself. Because I think when you do believe in yourself, when you let yourself really shine and kind of get really passionate about whatever it is that you're learning or whatever it is that you're teaching to others, that's when like the knowledge really has power, you know, rather than just like reading from a book. You're able to pass it on to other people in a way that's engaging. And then we have the 9 of Wands. Interesting how we have 2 9s and 2 3s. So that may be significant for you. Maybe seeing the number 3 or the number 9 quite a bit. And we have the 9 of Wands, which again, there's like a leadership role with like this group. So yeah, as I said, there's definitely like some sort of calling of being like a leader or taking charge of the situation. And I think that if you pursue your own happiness, what really makes you light up, other people will follow. Because, you know, that kind of enthusiasm and optimism, it's like infectious, right? We have the 7 of Wands. And the Knight of Wands. I feel like you might have stage fright, or, you know, like when you're in front of a group of people, there is, like, you can feel every pair of eyes that's on you. So maybe that is where that self-doubt comes in, because I do understand, because that is like nerve-wracking, right? Having everyone looking at you all at once. I also want to say as well, there's like something about knowing when to pick your own battles. So maybe there's been like some sort of negative comment or like negative review or something, and you're like really trying to not let it affect your overall like performance or your confidence. And I think as long as you remember that you are the King of Wands, this little comment, because I don't really feel like it's like something nasty that somebody said. Maybe it's just some sort of like constructive criticism, and maybe there's like a part of your ego that's a little bit hurt, and you're kind of taking it to heart when somebody just meant it as like a constructive sort of thing. So maybe try not to take things so personally. And then we have the Knight of Wands. I would say with the Knight of Wands, there is always this air of like acting on impulse. And so maybe if this constructive criticism or this negative comment has kind of got you like in your ego, in your feelings, maybe to try to exercise restraint rather than kind of snapping back immediately. You know, to kind of have that air of professionalism rather than acting out of like anger or insecurity. I'm getting as well, which I do get it, because, you know, like when people are kind of offering like criticism, sometimes it can be really difficult to not take it personally, but I feel like this person isn't doing it maliciously or like to hurt you. We have the Ace of Wands on the deck at the bottom. Which I got unleashing your power within. Which is very heavy. So yeah, maybe there is like this natural kind of charisma about you, like people feel drawn to you, people tend to listen to you. And so I think there's like a need to kind of keep developing that gift, and to try to not let this self-doubt or this like criticism sort of take over. Okay, so I'm going to get you guys an oracle card from the Moonology deck. But yeah, overall, I feel like this read is pretty pretty positive, right? Because there's like this innate confidence and leadership that you possess, and as long as you're able to sort of keep developing that, I think there's like people that will definitely follow you. And I'm also getting like hang on to every word. Okay, so can we get an oracle card for pile 2, please? I'll take both of those. So we have the end of a tough cycle approaches. So I feel as though maybe that solar eclipse energy is kind of going to allow you to release some of this self-doubt. And then we have prosperity lies ahead. So of course this could mean, you know, like earning like a good decent amount of money, like from whatever this leadership, mentor, teacher role is. And I feel as well, like with the 2 Knights and this 3 of Wands here, there may be like an element of travel. But yeah, both of these are earth energy, Capricorn and Taurus. Which is a very like determined, driven energy when it comes to like career. So yeah, I feel like this is definitely like a career job reading. and if not, maybe consider some sort of leadership role, because I feel like it'd be really promising. Last but not least, I'm going to get an oracle card from the Divine Guidance deck. So can we just get one more for pile 2? Thank you. So this is the Awakening card, and it's often about an awakening to psychic gifts, psychic connection, divine connection. And I feel as though, like, I mean, maybe you are experiencing some sort of psychic connection at this time. But I feel as though this is like realizing that whatever this leadership, mentor, teacher role is, it's a part of your divine purpose. And I feel like there's definitely a need to embrace that. Alright, pile 2. It's a great reading. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye. Hi, pile 3. So you guys chose the 9 of Fire, otherwise known as the 9 of Wands. And then Pyrite, which is really good for promoting abundance, attracting abundance. Okay, so what deck am I feeling? This one, I think. Right, so let's get into the reading. What does pile 3 need to know for the solar eclipse? Thank you. So we have 2 7s. So you may be seeing the number 7 quite a bit. So I feel like you're on the defense or something, or feeling like you have to defend or protect something. But I'm kind of feeling like you don't necessarily need to protect it or necessarily need to be on the defense. Because we have this character here who could quite easily drop the chicken, and these monsters would leave him alone, right? Because ultimately that is what they're after. So it's about knowing like when to fight and then when to reel it in. And I feel like there is like some sort of decision or like contemplation as to whether you should continue fighting for this or whether to, I'm getting the phrase like whether to say something or not. So maybe there's some sort of like injustice that's happening and you're not quite sure whether to get involved. So maybe there's something to do with like a boss or somebody that's in a position of power and they are abusing their power in one way or another. So obviously you need to use your own kind of discernment as to whether you get involved with that. And then we have the Queen of Swords. Prioritizing intellect and logic at this time. Possibly getting like a lawyer involved. Or like a mediator. But yeah, I feel as though whoever it is that's abusing their power, I feel there's like cronies or like other co-workers that are kind of sort of involved with the way that this person abuses their power, and they're wanting to kind of get a rise out of you. So obviously if they are trying to get a rise out of you, to try to remain as professional as you can. But yeah, I do feel like with the Queen of Swords there is kind of a need to definitely think before you speak, and to also like approach this logically rather than kind of acting on impulse or like out of emotion. I also got the phrase fighting talk, so somebody may have like threatened you at work. And so obviously like I would perhaps pursue that legally. And then we have the Magician, Gemini energy. And the Chariot, which is Cancer energy. And if you were feeling inclined to watch pile 2, it may be worth watching that, because the Chariot did also sort of pop out on the bottom of the deck in pile 2, but that was with a completely different tarot deck. So for the Chariot to come out in 2 readings, that's quite interesting. Yeah, I feel like this person's like super manipulative. Like maybe the only reason that these other co-workers or these other people are kind of siding with this boss or whoever's like abusing their power, maybe they're only kind of siding with them like out of fear of like receiving the same treatment as you, or they're like fearful of getting fired if they don't do as the boss says. And we have the Chariot here, which is holding some sort of rodent. Which are often seen as pests, right? So yeah, I feel like this person just acts like to annoy people. Like, just for the joy of annoying people, which is bizarre. Bear with me because my cards did go everywhere. So I feel like obviously if you're not pursuing like legal action of maybe, I don't know, because the Chariot is all about using your own like self-will and drive to propel you forward towards getting what you want, getting what you desire. So of course this could be you taking the action to pursue things legally, or you may just, you know, leave the situation. Obviously I'm just a tarot reader, so use your own discernment. Just mean my cards are irritated. I feel like this is you, like, seeing what else is out there. Broadening your horizons. Feeling out for, like, a situation, friendship or job. Kind of depends on your own personal situation, but feeling out, like, what is healthier for you. Because this isn't it. Like, it's really icky. Me of the Queen of Pentacles. Focusing on family or the people that really matter to you. Possibly even like deciding to work from home instead of working, you know, working for someone else. Can you clarify this Chariot energy, please? I'm also getting that you may have like a family member or like a friend of family that knows how to pursue this situation. Or they may be like in some sort of like legal field. But yeah, I feel like with this situation, it's probably best to get some sort of professional advice. I feel as though this is like justice being delivered like one way or another. And I wouldn't say to directly take it into your own hands. Just because karmically I feel like, you know, what you ultimately give out, you kind of have to be prepared to also receive it back. But yeah, there is this sort of truth that's being delivered one way or another. possibly an ending to. Which of course I would say is you leaving the situation. Yeah, I feel like there may obviously be like a reluctancy to leave the situation, especially if it is a job, right? Because, you know, having like security is important. But I feel like in leaving this situation, there is like also a lot of abundance waiting for you. So of course you may have like a business at home, or you may be like leaving this job to work with family or like friends of family, or something to do with the home. So maybe like real estate, decorating, interior design, that kind of thing. But I am also getting like Etsy shop kind of vibes from this. So yeah, it may be worth you kind of experimenting with that regardless. Like maybe you do try to pursue legal action in this situation, and then also while you're kind of doing that, it gives you a bit of free time to sort of focus on your own sort of side hustle and possibly making that your like main income. Okay, cool. So I'm going to get you an oracle card from the Moonology deck. So meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So yeah, I feel like it's definitely advised for you to weigh up the pros and cons and think about things logically at this time rather than acting on emotions or impulse. Possibly meditating on like an answer as like a way of, you know, finding some sort of solution. And then last but not least, I'm going to pull you an oracle card from the Divine Guidance deck. So can we get an oracle card for pile 3? I'm going to just take both of these. So it's interesting how both of these come to 7 in total, 4 and 3 and 3 and 4. So the number 7 may be significant for you at this time. Oh yeah, of course, because I did say that there were 2 7s within the reading. So yeah, to get the number 7, what, 4 times? Maybe look at the spiritual meaning behind the number 7, or kind of keep an eye out for the number 7 as sort of like a confirmation. So I feel as though this is the Earth Angel card, but I am going to double check. I'm pretty sure it is. Earth Angel, yeah. So it's all about making a difference in the lives that you are within. And then we have the reflections card, which is all about reflecting on your past. But I'm kind of getting that maybe you're like a spiritual mirror for people. So I feel as though, like, if there are people around you that are kind of giving the evil eye, talking badly about you, I feel as though it's just like a projection of things that they need to deal with internally. And I think maybe it is so severe because you are like a mirror for these people. And so I think you are an earth angel in that aspect of whether they decide to learn or not, that you make people aware of the issues that they have and the issues that they need to work on. And so maybe that is why, like, people are picking on you, is the vibe that I'm kind of getting. And so I think I want to say, like, as difficult as it is when people are specifically choosing you to take their stuff out on, it is difficult to not take it personally. Because I am kind of getting this, like, thing of you questioning, like, oh, why me? Like, what is it about me that, you know, causes this person or these people to pick on me? But I don't think it is, like, I don't think it's anything negative about you. I think it's just that you are a mirror, and these people don't want to deal with their own, they don't want to deal with their own shit, so they're just, rather than looking within, they're looking outward. And yeah, unfortunately, I feel like they're taking it out on you one way or another. But yeah, please try not to take it personally, because I know that it can be really difficult. But yeah, I do feel that it's time to weigh up the pros and cons of whether or not this situation is still serving you and is going to serve you in the long run, because I do feel like there is a lot of abundance waiting for you. Perhaps if you take a different path, obviously use your own discernment. Alright, pile 3. Thank you for watching, and I will see you very soon. Bye.